Divine Creator fills us up, for we are vessels. If we choose joy, it can be abundant. If we choose abundance, it could be as much or more than we could even handle. Being specific matters, for we must know what we are asking for. Abundance of what? We could wish for abundance depending on our contract, that is, what we're here to work on. It may be an abundance of something we don't want, such as an abundance of pain, ill health, or an abundance of strife with our neighbor. It is said that the universe doesn't like a void and will always fill it. True or not, we are always full of thoughts, mental logistics, white noise, full of things to have to do or finish, full of commitments. So what if we mindfully choose to follow what feels right in the moment? By turning to that divine energy that we know always fills us, let us tune in to our original contract, that of fulfillment. By definition, to fulfill is to carry out, such as prophecy or promise, to satisfy, such as a desire or prayer, to perform or carry out, such as a task, to bring to an end, to finish or complete. So here we are at year's end. It is often a time of reflection on what has been accomplished and what is yet to be done. May we be ever aware that we are here for our own fulfillment of our body, mind, soul, flesh, blood, spirit, and I am presence, and fulfillment of our contract, whatever that is for each of us. When we stay present in the fullness of God's love and in gratitude, that divine awareness graces us with purpose and peaceful filling. Let it be so, and so it is.
Hello, this is an update on Oregon and a foreshadowing. 2025, December. What we have going right now, top of the list, is Yamhill with the county commissioners and Sam. Get it done right, Sam, please. Then we have Washington County. We have probate there and some land issues and issues with the sheriff, the court, and the DA, Washington County. The other counties, Marion County. Yep. Lane County. And Jackson and Josephine. Other than that, the standard pressure for a proper oath to the proper constitutions with the laws of nature and nature's gods included, that has to be done, of course. And it will be. And we're working on that. With the state out of the Salem oligarchy, there's the Oregon State Police, the Oregon National Guard. There is no Oregon legislature, there is no Oregon executive, and there is no Oregon judiciary. They're all blank. There's nothing there but the infrastructure. No people occupying the positions. Same with the office of sheriff. You have to have proper people with the proper credentials, or there's nobody occupying the office. What else is there? The Marco Hatfield building, quiet title. We have a quiet title going in Washington County too. I'll remember more, I'm sure, but I'd like to get into foreshadowing a bit. Coming soon, at every courthouse and courtroom the de facto has on Oregon, one of us will visit the space, the public space, in the halls, in the lobby, in the parking lot, wherever people gather, thinking they are persons and in your jurisdiction, one of us will be there. I'll take Beaverton and Washington County, and we'll inform. I'll be there in my official capacity, jura summa imperi, a man on the land and soil of Oregon. That's the first one I'll be in. Then I'll be there with this. Yes. In my official capacity as a court clerk for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly's Article 3, one Supreme Court claiming original jurisdiction. Article 7, Amendment 7, Civilian Common Law Court of Record, Ex parte Milligan, implemented. That court has jurisdiction. And it's obvious we have jurisdiction, as we have not been rebutted in 7 years by any of you. Fed, city, county, state, civil, criminal, not one. Therefore, we have the court. And our court is Fifth Appellate and SCOTUS approved. SEC versus Jarcasi 603 US 109. We are here on the land and soil. So, an old man such as myself, I'll be better dressed. I'll look good. I'll have my badge prominently displayed. I'll be carrying my bag. In my bag will be all the paraphernalia needed to prove my bona fides to anybody who might ask. Sheriff, deputies, city cops, Oregon State Police, Oregon National Guard, whoever might want to know. And I'll be visiting public space, like in the Beaverton Courthouse, the parking lot, the foyer out front. And I'll be asking them questions like, are you in the military or do you work as a law enforcement officer? No. Are you an attorney? No. You work for the federal government or any government agency? No. Are you in commerce, driving a truck or something like that? You're in business on the highways, dealing with the DOJ or the Department of Highways? And no, I'm not in that either. Are you a man or a woman on the land and soil of Oregon? Without ruler or without subject? Just one of the plain old Oregonians, a man or a woman? Yeah, that's who I am. You're in our jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of men and women. You're not in the jurisdiction of this courtroom that you're about to enter. Take that piece of paper and keep it. Fill out this living testimony in the form of an affidavit of truth, testifying as to who you are, and get 2 people to sign it. And you will have established your jurisdiction as not in that court. And as soon as you do that, well, then I'll stamp it and turn it into that court, telling them this person's not in your jurisdiction. You're in my jurisdiction. And this is the jurisdiction that you're under. The constitutional jurisdiction of the United States of America and Oregon in original jurisdiction, without any failures such as Article 7 amended. And then we'll see which way it goes. That's a foreshadow. I've done it before in Beaverton. I explained to the people waiting in the hallway all about de facto and de jure. I just haven't been back in a while, but I'm going to make it a point to visit your courts on the proper days and explain to everybody just exactly the position that they're in. That the court that claims to have jurisdiction over you does not, if you meet certain requirements, and they're right here. Establish your jurisdiction and then go about your business. Oregon is a common law state. Oregon is Article 7 in original jurisdiction with an Article 3 court. And we will have a proper government on Oregon. And everybody will have the proper oaths, and we'll do our best to keep it. We got 115 years that brought us to this point. This point is a failure, except for judges and attorneys. They're doing quite well under this circumstance. And the cops are supporting them. And it's totally de facto. It's illegal and illegitimate. Now, we've looked all this up. We've testified to all of this in open court. And we're doing it. And we're going to continue to do it. And the next step is explaining to the people that they do not need to pay you. They need to understand what the law is and how to deal with it. And I yield.
Hi, my name is Charlie White. I'm with the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I'm speaking to the sheriffs, one and all. The ball is in your court. We kicked it into your jurisdiction, which is separate from ours, unfortunately. It really is one team. It really should be one jurisdiction, you and us, sheriffs and the people. It is, or rather should be, one jurisdiction, but your training, probably from childhood, from mass public perception, has been to join the realm of the corporate jurisdiction, which is the entity that pays you to do what you do and has for the last over 100 years. You can join our team, that of the people, with a simple turn of a mind switch. A tool to assist in this process is to consider taking a proper oath and all that it means to the proper Constitution with its original jurisdiction and with the laws of nature and of nature's God as stated in our unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America, still alive and well, unfortunately misunderstood and often ignored. The last several months we have posted and made publicly available what we consider a proper oath for the persons in our governance. Sheriffs are our first effort at insisting on a proper oath, for it is the sheriffs who are in their county position to protect and defend the people from ticketing or sending people to the illegitimate amended Article 7 courts that should not be. From governance overreach and taxation that takes seniors' equity, their forever home, and all they possess by enforcing conviction. It takes a shift in the mind. It is the recognition of one's allegiance to life and that which is God-given, rather than criminalizing living God-made beings from a dead corporate entity. Our sheriffs are our first protection against governance overreach. Please take a solemn oath. It's needed for there to be remedy in our authoritative system of governance. Once a sheriff cognizes the importance of the proper oath, they can see themselves as truly one of the people, rather than as a corporate entity meant to enforce our compliance to the bidding of the state. Therein is offered greater freedom, cooperation, and peace in all our dealings with the people, the public, and our governance. Let it be so.
Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. As in Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution, our credo, we declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and that they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. We are that social compact. Consent was the key. This is how it was engineered. Control did not require chains. It required agreement. Not silent agreement, but silent participation. Once given, it renewed itself through routine, habit, and fear. From early childhood, identity was shifted. A name became a label. A human became a record. Numbers, capital letters, and registration. The system never addressed the living being. It interacted only with the construct. Every form, every signature, every required process was a confirmation. Taxes, licenses, registrations, permits, policies. They never needed your belief, only your compliance. Fear was the accelerator. In crisis, people do not question. They obey. This is why control always expanded after shock events. Panic makes consent fast and unresisted. Media did not inform, it aligned. Repetition created normality. Anyone who stepped out of line was labeled before they were silenced. Education taught following, not thinking. Authority over truth. Memory over awareness. By adulthood, questioning felt unsafe. Money completed the loop. Survival became conditional. Debt shaped behavior. And dependency narrowed possibility. The system never forced itself. It was accepted, and it only works while people believe it does. That belief is fading. Consent is being withdrawn. The structure is weakening. This is not revolt. This is remembering. This is a December 21st, 2025 post on Telegram by Mr. Poole. And I'll go on to say that this is why our Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly has been so dedicated and tirelessly working to stress the urgent need for correction by everyone involved in our Oregon governance. Correction in their understanding, and once understood, correction in their roles in government and their subsequent actions. If these entities cannot learn, such as the significance of the Organic Act of 1871, if they cannot self-correct, then they must leave or be removed from their positions and duties. For without the proper mindset, the day-to-day duties they perform are not serving the people, but are instead a robotic, mindless action serving the quiet coup and taking over of our original law form, common law, and our constitutional republic that was established prior to the coup of 1871. Pay attention. This is the unraveling of the evil death cult. God bless America, and God bless the United States of America's Constitution circa 1859 and the people who choose responsibility, peace, safety, and happiness over betrayal and deception. Let it be so, and so it is. Prime Creator, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is another Telegram reading that was a post by Daniel R. And it was on Telegram on December 21st, 2025, titled, "The Control Layers Are Being Disconnected." What is unfolding now is the quiet separation of power from paperwork. Systems that once relied on signatures, registrations, and institutional approval are being forced to verify something they cannot fake anymore: the living beneficiary behind the report, behind the record. This is why legacy platforms are slowing down, freezing, or issuing vague maintenance notices. They are losing authority at the validation level. When a system can no longer confirm ownership through its old channels, it stalls. That stall is not a glitch. It is a safeguard activating. Behind closed doors, compliance teams are being ordered to reconcile records that were never meant to be reconciled. Trusts without disclosure, accounts without beneficiaries, liabilities created without consent. These contradictions cannot survive direct verification, and that is exactly what is happening now. The most important shift is psychological. People are trained to ask permission to access what was already theirs. That mindset is dissolving. The new structure does not ask who approves you. It asks who you are. Once that answer is verified, the rest is procedural. Expect more silence from institutions that used to speak loudly. Expect more contradictions in official explanations. Expect sudden policy changes that seem unplanned. They're not unplanned. They are responses to control layers being removed one by one. This phase is not about announcements. It is about detachment. detachment of false authority from real value. The straw man is fading. The living holder is being recognized, and the systems built on illusion are running out of places to hide. Thank you.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.